Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into something huge, the massive urban development happening right now in Bihar. This is a state that's in the middle of one of India's most ambitious transformations. So what does it really take to build the cities of the future pretty much from the ground up? Let's break it down.
Okay, this slide right here gets straight to the heart of the issue. Just look at these numbers. By 2026, it's estimated that Bihar's urban population will be only about 15.3%. Now compare that to India's national average, which is way up at 36.1%, more than double. This huge gap, this urbanization gap, is exactly what's fueling this massive development push. It's basically a race against time to build for a population that's on the move.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the core urban challenge Bihar is facing. Then we'll get into what it takes to build truly livable cities. After that, we'll focus on the people, providing a home and a livelihood. Then we'll zoom out to the big vision for a smarter, cleaner future. And finally, we'll answer the all-important question, how is all of this getting paid for?
All right, first up, Bihar's Urban Challenge. This is all about getting organized for some serious growth. Before you can even think about laying a single brick, you absolutely need a plan, an administrative framework to handle this kind of massive population shift.
So the very first step is administrative, and what Bihar is doing is reorganizing on a huge scale. They're creating new urban local bodies and expanding existing ones. Now, this isn't just about redrawing some lines on a map. This is about bringing 1.19 million more people into a formal urban system. That's absolutely essential if you want to plan anything and deliver services that actually work.
Okay, Section 2, Building Livable Cities. So, once the governance structure is getting sorted, we can look at the actual foundations of city life. And we're talking about the absolute essentials here. Things like water, good roads, and crucially, drainage.
And this slide really frames the core problem, doesn't it? For decades, anyone who knows Bihar knows its cities have been plagued by waterlogging, especially during the monsoons. So the challenge is just immense. How do you solve a chronic problem like flooding, while at the same time providing all the other basic services a modern city needs for millions of people?
Well, here's a massive part of the answer, the stormwater drainage scheme. And what's just incredible is the sheer scale of this thing. We're talking about an investment of over 2,925 crore rupees. All of that is going into one of the most critical, but often invisible, pieces of a city's infrastructure.
And what does that huge investment actually mean in human terms? It means this: 15.7 million people. That's how many people across 264 different towns and cities will directly benefit from this project. They'll finally get some relief from that constant problem of urban flooding. It's a total game changer for daily life.
But of course, drainage is just one piece of this giant puzzle. The state is tackling fundamental services all across the board. They're working on providing piped water to nearly 2.5 million households, building better, more durable roads with proper drainage, and even reviving thousands of traditional ponds and wells to help manage groundwater. You see, these are the real building blocks of a truly livable city. Okay, so we've covered the concrete and the pipes, but cities are really about people, right? That brings us to our third section, a home and a livelihood. How is Bihar making sure that this transformation actually includes and supports its most vulnerable residents?
Well, the strategy pretty much relies on a trio of really key national schemes. First, you've got PMAY, which is all about providing permanent homes. Second, there's DAY-NULM, which helps people, especially women, form self-help groups to gain economic independence. And third, a scheme to formalize and support street vendors. Because let's be honest, they're a vital part of any city's economy.
Now, let's look at the impact in pure numbers, because they're pretty stunning. Under the PMA Affordable Housing Scheme, more than 264,000 families have been approved for a permanent home. Just think about that. That's a staggering number of lives being completely transformed by the security of just having a roof over their heads.
And it doesn't stop at housing. Let's talk about economic empowerment. In just the last year, over 29,000 new members, most of them women, have joined self-help groups. This gives them access to loans, to training, and a whole support network to build small businesses and create their own livelihoods. It's incredible.
And finally, there's this big push to bring people into the formal economy. Over 166,000 street vendors have now been identified and given ID cards. And look, this isn't just a piece of plastic. It's a passport. It's a passport to formal credit, to training, to social security, all the things that bring them into the mainstream economy.
So, with those foundations in place and people being supported, now we can zoom out and look at the grand vision. That brings us to Section 4, Smarter, Cleaner, Connected. This is all about the really ambitious, forward-looking projects that are shaping a modern Bihar.
And this vision really rests on three major pillars. You have the Smart Cities mission, which is upgrading infrastructure with modern technology. Then there's the Clean Ganga mission, which is tackling pollution head-on with new sewage treatment plants. And of course, the Patna Metro Rail project, which is set to completely revolutionize how people move around the city.
And the financial commitment to this vision is just huge. The first phase of the Patna Metro alone has a budget of over 13,365 crore rupees. That is a monumental investment, and it's all aimed at creating a modern, efficient, and much less congested capital city.
You know, all of this leads to the biggest question of all, our fifth and final section, funding the future. An ambitious vision's one thing, but how on earth do you pay for all of it and make it last?
Well, this quote from the state's economic survey really lays out the financial model for us. Basically, cities have two main ways of getting money: external funds from the government and income they generate themselves. And the real key to long-term success, to sustainability, is growing that self-generated income.
And the results so far are, well, they're kind of incredible. Just look at this chart. In just 1 year, the income that cities generated themselves has absolutely exploded. Holding tax is up 136%. Non-tax income from things like fees and rent is up 174%. And other taxes? They've seen a staggering 10-fold increase. This is a sign of a dramatic shift towards financial independence. And to put that in even more concrete terms, just look at property tax. Collections more than doubled in only 4 years, jumping from 191 crore rupees to a projected 407 crore. I mean, that is a clear, undeniable sign of better governance, more efficient collection, and a growing sense of civic participation. So here's the crucial takeaway. Bihar's cities are increasingly funding their own development. This growing financial independence, it's not just some number on a spreadsheet. It is the engine that is making this entire urban transformation sustainable for the long term. So when you put it all together, the administrative overhaul, the new infrastructure, the focus on people, and this incredible growth in financial self-reliance, it all leads us to this one big final question. The ambition is undeniable, right? But can this massive urban leap truly create a future that is prosperous, sustainable, and inclusive for every single citizen? The foundations are being laid right now, and you can be sure the world is watching.